Party people, what's going on? It's Samaj Marsh. I'm the founder of BlueDeathValley.com. I want to welcome you guys back to another special edition of Inside the Valley, the podcast that's devoted to relentless coverage of A&T football. Of course, I got one of my co-hosts here to my right, always polite. He is the longtime A&T insider, a beat writer on BlueDeathValley.com for over 2 decades. The current president of the Greensboro chapter of the AAF, and he so happens to be my right-hand man, Craig Turner. What's up, CT?
Hey, what's up, Samaj? Aggie Pride. Coming off a bad one, but it's always good to be here. Every day above ground is a good one. So
yes, sir. It's better than an alternative, I tell you that. But boy, we felt this one. And you know what? It was such, I guess, a gut punch because just like after we had the seventh heaven miracle win against Hampton earlier in the year, we followed that with that beat down by Central. This one kind of caught us off guard in a similar fashion. We had just had that the Elijah Kennedy comeback game with the 2 returns in the fourth quarter to upset Campbell, and then we followed that up immediately with this stinker 62-9, and that thing was over quick, Craig. At first, like 5 minutes, it
was. It got out of hand really quickly. The turnovers, the block punt and the 2 interceptions basically broke that game wide open early.
Yeah.
I mean, those 3 plays, you won't have to search for them this week. Those 3 plays were really backbreakers. We give them 21 points right out the chute. Can't do that and win a football game. Can't do it.
Yeah,
cannot do
it. So
the block punt. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm sick of seeing us get punts blocked. We've had punts blocked in every single game we've played this year, except for one. Except for one game, we got a block punt every single game.
Yeah,
and I wrote in my column, Towson makes a living off of that. They've notoriously been a big kick block team, and we, for whatever reason, we froze up, let them through, get the block, touchdown. So what can I tell you?
Yeah. That's all she wrote, and basically,
it is what it is.
Talking about, as this season goes on and gets to an end, there's still a lot to play for, and there's a lot of players and coaches that are going to be evaluated by how these last 3 games transpire. And so it's not like there's no chance where anybody is going to be going through the motions. Everybody is really fighting for their football lives here, whether it be your spot on the depth chart next season or
agreed.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, either depth chart or even being here next year.
Yeah, exactly.
The way college football is now, if you're not producing, hate to say it, but it's a lot like professional football now. If you're not an asset, you're gonna relegate yourself to either sitting on a bench or looking for someplace else to go. Yeah. So that's decisions that that's going to be decisions that the staff will have to make on each player when they do their evaluations. It goes, and the same thing applies to staff too. You go back and you go back and look at your season in its entirety, and if you're not performing if your particular unit is not performing up to standard, you too fall into that category.
Being evaluated. Yeah. And I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. Yeah.
Yeah, it is in college football nowadays. You cannot you can't get by just getting by. Yeah.
Right.
You gotta perform at a peak level or near peak level every week.
Yeah. And special teams has not been peak. Well, special teams is kind of hard to put in like one bucket because we've had some tremendous highs. I mean, even Saturday with the first drive of the game, Money Brown, we marched down the field, stall out right at the edge of the red zone, and then we called Money Brown onto the scene, and all he does is break his own record with a 56-yard field goal, and that thing was right down the middle, right? So yeah. I mean, and I hate to waste a season like this where you have such a weapon in the field goal kicking game. That's something that A&T traditionally has never really had. Somebody who, once you cross like the 35-yard line, you feel like, okay, well, at least we got 3 points here, right? And we kind of got that now with Andrew Brown, and still, it's not really adding as it's not equating to wins. That's a shame. So we had some tremendous highs, and of course, last week with the kick and the punt returns by Elijah Kennedy, I mean, he's going to be probably all conference. Those two guys probably going to be all conference at the end of the season. But in the totality, special teams has been hit or miss because, like you said, we get stuff blocked. Yeah. We letting some returns. That's been teams that's ran back the kicks on us and punts. I don't know who the special teams coordinator is, who has that responsibility, but these next 3 games are going to be important for him too, because like you said, you start getting punch blocked on a continual basis, and you say what, almost every game except one.
Every game except one. Yeah, we've had a punt blocked in every game except for one.
Punt or kick, I guess, because even the Tennessee State game, damn it, we had a chance to go to overtime, and that wasn't great protection with that field goal kick. So yeah, you're right. It started bad. And as far as that aspect of special teams, it hasn't got a lot better. But for those who might have, been out of commission this weekend, we lost to Towson 62-9. It was a home game, but crowd was very scarce, and I don't know what the atmosphere. I wasn't there, and I had my own beatdown to experience in person. I can't be at 2 beatdowns at one time, Craig. Unfortunately. I had to pick and choose, but the beat down in Truist Stadium, when I watched the replay on the computer, it just seemed like the crowd wasn't. I mean, they didn't really have a lot to cheer for, but I hope apathy is not starting to seep in. I hope the fan base still is coming out to support. We got one more home game, not this week, but the following week. And I hope that we at least get close to 10,000 people in there to wish off the seniors.
Yeah, I don't think it's apathy. I think it's just the realization of what your limitations are. We're not. I mean, we're I'll be frank about it. We don't have the person that we need right now.
Yeah,
we've got some good guys. We got some good players. We got some good kids, but we don't have near enough of them. And that was quite apparent to me, more so this week than it was the week before. Campbell and us are about in the same boat. Yeah, but when you start talking about Towson, when you start talking about Monmouth, they're on a whole different level. And Stony Brook too. Their personnel superior, and that doesn't mean that you can't, you can't compete. But we got to be realistic too. These are big, strong, deep teams, and we're still feeling. We're still trying to crawl out from where we've been for over the last 2 or 3 years. So it's going to take some recruiting. I think this recruiting year coming up during this period, especially in that December and portal period in January, the December signing period for high school kids, and then you got your junior college and portal guys in January. It's going to be crucial because we can either get really competitive fairly quickly and move up a notch or two, or we can kind of flounder around and where we are now. But it definitely is about. I think it's personnel. It is really what it is. It comes down to we just don't have the bodies.
But kind of Coach Gibbs kind of mirrored that statement this week on Monday at the press conference. Let me show you a quick clip of some of his comments because he and I hate seeing Coach Gibbs like this. I like seeing the confident, brash, stick your chest out. I like seeing that version of Coach Gibbs because that's who he is, man. He's a street fighter and he's a proud football guy. And this is kicking his butt, man. This is wearing on him. I know he was a realist when he looked at what he had inherited and what the job entailed, but I think he thought that he could motivate and get the guys to buy in a little bit more than I guess it's been a reality. I still don't think he's 100% happy with the culture of the team, right? And you never want to say, "Oh, this team quit" or whatever. But I'll tell you right now, that team was flat from the opening kickoff, and they did not fight. They did not fight for the full 60 minutes. Okay, so that's not saying they quit, but that effort dropped off tremendously at from the end of the first quarter to the end of the game. That was not the A&T football that we are accustomed to seeing, even in the lean years.
No, they weren't. Yeah, they weren't mentally prepared to play. I told my wife when we were sitting there watching the game after about the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game, I said, after that, I said, we're not. I could tell during the warm-ups we seemed to be going through the motions.
Yeah.
And we were. I don't know where it was an early kickoff or the guys may celebrated too much after beating Campbell and didn't prepare themselves and still reveling in the week before.
Yeah,
that may have been part of it. I don't know, but they were not mentally prepared to play Saturday. I know.
Well, evidently,
yeah.
Evidently, there was like a dust up at the beginning of the game. Before like pregame, there was some type of dust up between both teams. I don't know the particulars, but they had to. They were
chirping pretty loud.
Yeah,
they were chirping pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know whether it got inside the guys' heads or whatever, but we just seem to be out of it. And you can't do that. I think our concentration was off. We didn't execute properly, or we were too early or too late. Getting beat deep, and people were hollering, blitz, blitz, blitz. Well, the problem with blitzing, you're in. If you blitz, you're going to be in man.
That's what Coach Gibbs said. Right.
Yeah, if you blitz, you're going to be in man, and we didn't cover. It's just as simple as that. We got beat deep. The one thing I said before, you cannot allow. They got Towson has 2 FBS grad students transfers at both of those wide receiver spots. Those guys are good. They're fast, they're good, and they don't drop much. And you could not allow them to get in behind you. And we tried some early blitzes. We didn't get them. They beat us deep. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And people can argue, well, the coach didn't do this, the coach didn't do that. But if you don't have, you can't put 4-4 against 4-6, and you can't put a 4-6 guy to guard a 4-4 guy and expect him to win. And it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And they constantly beat us to the ball.
And Craig, they were attacking our best guys. Yeah, they were attacking Aaron Harris. They weren't just attacking, one of the third string cornerbacks. They went after our best and they got success. And that's kind of demoralizing, So but credit to Towson. They understood our guys are better than your guys. Yeah.
They took advantage of it. I mean, let's be honest about it.
Yeah. Let me show you the press conference. Here's a couple clips, and you can see what Coach Gibbs has to say.
Are you, I guess, in hindsight, do you kind of?
So this is me. I'm asking, basically like what you just alluded to, Craig. I said, in hindsight, do you wish you would have put more pressure on if you would have manufactured more pressure on the freshman quarterback? This is a true freshman quarterback from Florida. He played at a real prestigious high school. He had like all the records in the world, but he's a true freshman. So he's good in some weeks, and like the previous week he struggled. He was like he couldn't hit the broadside of the barn the previous week against Stony Brook, and that's what we played this week. So maybe Stony Brook's defense just made him look that bad, but he got benched at halftime. That's how bad he was, and that was a question mark of was he even going to start this week. But like the guy at Maine who was struggling before we played him, and the guy at Hampton who's still not that very good, and we made him look decent. Anytime we play somebody, we're gonna get like the best quarterback in the country. It seems like I don't know what we are doing, and we're just like giving them massages on the sideline and make them comfortable. But we're not doing anything that makes a quarterback feel like, oh gosh, I gotta lock in, and I don't know if the linebacker's coming or just safety's here, or that we're not playing eye games with these guys, and we definitely not getting no pressure with our front four. I'm gonna in a minute we're gonna show you the plays, and those dudes were kind of like playing patty cakes. Our guys are playing patty cake with the offensive line. There wasn't no pressure. So when you're a true freshman and you play horrible the week before, the first thing you want is a clean pocket and your best receiver to have two-step lead on our cornerback. I mean, you pray for that. But I asked Coach about that, and he was kind of like you said, well, you got to pick your poison, because if we blitz somebody, they don't get home, and we really, out there.
More things for him to be confused about, more exotic blitzes, more pressure.
Well, I mean, when you do that, you're going to play man coverage, and you got to cover them guys.
And that's kind of obvious, we say that, but I wonder, I should have asked a follow-up question, like, is your defense predicated on being able to play man coverage? Everybody knows about Broadway and Coach Washington, and if this defense is kind of a offshoot of those guys, what they've had built, then we don't have a Mac McCain, right? We don't even have a Tony McCray. We don't have a shutdown. We don't have Tamadre Abrams, right? We don't have two guys who you can put on the island and feel good about. They don't need safety help or whatever. That's not the case right now. So
his personnel
is limiting what he can do defensively, maybe.
Right, exactly. You only do so much with what you got.
Yeah. He says that.
So, it's pick your poison. The problem is we gave him way too much time to throw the football. Whether you blitzing or you rushing 4 or whatever, you can't give him all day to throw the football, and you can't let him get comfortable. So,
and the thing too is, like Tim Alderman and Malik Edridge and those guys on the edge, they're not playing horrible, right? It's just that we're not getting any type of consistent push at the tackle positions. So interior, like if you're a quarterback, and if I have to choose, to pick my poison, if my poison options are outside edge rusher or just mammoth tackle interior guard defensive tackles, coming in the A gap, I'm going to pick outside, 7 days a week because I can step up. But when someone's coming straight in the middle, that's worse. And we're not doing that. We're not even getting our hands up to knock down balls. We're just, like I say, I'm gonna show you a video. We're playing patty cakes, man, and it's not good enough.
So we got to find a way to generate some pass rush, whether that be through bringing more pressure or playing coverage. But either way, the best pass defense is pass rush.
Yep.
And there were times where we got back there and had him and couldn't get him down.
That's true.
Yeah, that was some bad tackling. So after the game, I guess the press conference immediately following Saturday's loss, he had made a comment about the inconsistency. Like some games we look like we could play with anybody, and then sometimes we have these games like against Central and Towson last week where we look like we can't beat a damn JV high school team. So he's trying to fix. The question was, how do you explain the difference in how you come out each week?
Well, we need to decrease the gaps between the good and the bad for this team. Now that you've kind of sat with it a little bit, do you have any ideas about what kind of needs to be done to address that, or are there any particular messages you're kind of sharing with the team to get on the same page about that?
Well, that's on me. I got to find a way to make sure that we're as focused as we need to be at all times. So that starts and ends with me. I got to make sure I'm doing everything in my power to keep these guys focused because, like I said, it's way too big of a difference in the way we played against William and Mary and the way we played against North Carolina Central and Towson. And you look at those three teams, they're all similar. So how do you play good against one, should have beat one, and then get demolished by the other two? So that's something internally that we got to work on, something we got to figure out as coaches and players as to why is the gap so big? Are we too comfortable? Like I've said 1,000 times, this is miserable. Losing is absolutely miserable. And I'm trying to do everything in my power to stop this feeling from happening. And I just need more people to jump on board and get this thing on the right path.
So that's a statement too, Craig. He said, I need more people to jump on board. So I'm sure that can apply to a lot of different people, but I guess coaches, right? Players, definitely players. You got to get the locker room on page. Yeah. And I guess that's also a call to action to us, the fan base, the alumni, with this campaign to raise capital for the NIL stuff. All hands on deck, but he kind of feels like he's just one man going up against the Army because he looks like he's overwhelmed. You get any sense of that, Craig?
I don't get a sense of being overwhelmed. I get a sense of frustration.
Yeah, that's a better word.
I think he's frustrated. He's a highly competitive guy.
Yeah.
He wants to win. He wants to win. He knows what he needs to do to win. But trying to convey that, I think he's frustrated with the fact that he's been trying to get the kids motivated or keep them motivated. It's not so much about getting them motivated, but keeping them motivated at a certain level. And some of the guys are delivering, and some of the guys aren't. I think most of the guys are trying to deliver the best they can, given their physical attributes. But it's the same. I think what's frustrating him more than anything else is seeing the same type of mistakes week in and week out. The degree of mistakes, the degree of those mistakes varies a lot. If you don't give up too much, we're pretty competitive. If we keep it to a minimum, we're fairly competitive. But when we really do like we did this past weekend and just, like I said, 3 first half turnovers, and they blow you out in the water before the second quarter starts. I think that's nagging at him, and it should. It will nag any coach, and so yeah, I think he's frustrated, but he still knows what he has to do. He still has the drive, and if you know anything about Sean Gibbs, he ain't gonna settle for just he's not gonna settle for just good enough. He's not gonna settle for that. He's not gonna settle for that. He wants to be the best there. He wants that team to perform at the very best that they can each and every week. So yeah, I expect there'll probably be some changes in personnel, perhaps in the coaching staff. But that's the decisions. Those are the decisions he's going to make. He's a very pragmatic guy, so that'll be something that he's probably tossing around in his mind as the season winds down over these last 3 games.
Yeah,
I think you were right earlier in your observation that is an audition. These last 3 games are going to be an audition.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what transpires over these next 3 games. We'll have a better idea of it.
You're playing and coaching for your job out these next 3 games, and schedule's tough. We got a tough Stony Brook team. We got to go all the way to New York to face them. Like I say, they just beat the team that beat us by 62-9. They just beat them pretty handily the week prior. And then we got Monmouth, which is a nationally ranked team. They're going to probably, be in the playoffs. And then we got Elon, who's having our number. So it's not going to be easy, but it's opportunities to prove yourself if you got that fight in you. Let me play this last clip.
Necessarily used to seeing these type of results in games. What do you do?
Listen to this, guys.
To kind of navigate this type of adversity.
First thing we do is we get on the recruiting trail.
Woo. So when the coach starts saying that kind of brings back the memories of one Vincent Brown. We said, we ain't got no transfer portal. So when the coach starts telling you that the answer lies outside of that locker room, that means he's not too happy with the talent inside the locker room. And that's just being totally transparent, man. You guys, and I've been critical of some of the ways that Coach Gibbs has phrased some things, but the one thing you can't say is that he don't if you ask him a question, he's gonna give you an honest answer, right? So he said we got to go outside. We got to recruit,
and we go find us some dogs that will never let this happen to us again. Internally, we just got to get our guys focused and let them know that we're not that bad. What we put on the field on Saturday, that's not us. I don't know who it is, but that's not us. We're way better than that. So we just got to stay focused and stay true to the process, trust the process, keep grinding. And then the coaches, we need to beat the bushes and go find some dogs.
What would be the keys to?
Wow. So we got to find your replacement, pretty much, players. So man, look, Craig.
Yeah.
That's not really shocking because the team is 2-7. So when you're 2-7, you're gonna have that.
Yeah, really. I mean, you got. Yeah, let's be realistic. You're 2-7. Obviously, some ain't right, and some people aren't. You don't have. It ain't all. Everybody thinks that a coach can magically make things happen by switching around X's and O's and drawing up new plays and new schemes and all like that. Let me tell you something, folks. If you ain't got the talent level that you need to have on the level that you're playing on, I don't care. Vince Lombardi can't do it. I mean, you could get the finest coaches in the world, but if you don't have the available talent and the available depth that you need to execute it, if you don't have the players to execute those schemes, no scheme will work without the players. Players are always number one. Coaches will tell you, I don't care whether they're, you're coaching at Ohio State or Chowan down east. If you don't have the players to execute You can have the greatest playbook ever, but if you don't have the players to execute it, to make it run right, it's not going to work. You may have some success against teams that you may match up with talent-wise, but when you start talking about the top 3 or 4 teams in the CAA, if you ain't got the horses, it's not gonna be pretty. And so it is what it is. We got to recruit. Recruiting is I say it every week. Recruiting is the lifeblood of any college football program. Pure and simple.
Yep.
Pure and simple.
And I tell you this though, we say recruiting. That's a great unknown also, because we don't know how this staff is going to be able to go out and recruit under the new normal that is revenue sharing NIL. We know what these guys have done previously before in NIL, really, when they were here. The diamonds in the rough that were able to be found, and then the guys who they brought in and they were able to develop over 2 or 3 years. But the developmental period, I believe, has has shrunk down, a lot smaller, right? Kids who, if they're not really on the top line of depth chart after year 2, most of them ain't really staying around to year 3. Everybody's want that microwave. There ain't no more delayed gratification in college football. You got to produce, and you got to show me the money and show me an avenue to get to the money, or I'm going to take my talent somewhere else. I'm not sure what promises have to be made now. I asked Coach Gibbs at the press conferences, like, will everybody who he targets to be an impact player have a price tag? He said some do, some might not. But it's like I said, we don't know. I don't ever want everybody to say, well, Coach Gibbs is going to be able to do this, and that because he did it before. This. I want to remind everybody, this is a new normal. We don't know what A&T recruiting looks like under the current NCAA rules. And Craig, you've been telling people we got a new transfer portal. It's only going to be open one time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's only open for 2 weeks. There is no summer transfer portal anymore. So if you're going to take FBS or FCS transfers or Division II transfers, any one of those, you got to do it between January 2nd and I believe it's January 2nd through the 14th. So you got the day after New Year's, essentially. And then you got 2 weeks in order to get those guys. You already seeing guys at some of these FBS programs are already said that have left their teams because they're going to go. They've already decided they're going to go into the portal. And that started happening about 4 weeks ago. Some guys, saw that, hey, I ain't gonna make it. I'm not gonna crack this lineup, or I may be nicked up. I'm going to save me a year, sit out the rest of the year, and transfer right when the semester ends. So I think all the schools, I think all the FCS schools are all in the same boat for the most part, most of them, is that they don't know how it's going to affect them because you don't know which one of your players is going to leave, and that's going to open up an additional spot that you got to cover. So it's going to be more about retention this first year. It's going to be more about retaining your very best guys and making sure they stay with you before you start venturing out into the portal. Yeah. So, you have to re-recruit. Yeah, you got to re-recruit your best players. Basketball's been dealing with this now, probably more so been dealing with this now going on about 3 or 4 years. This is a first for football. So it's going to affect everybody differently. Now, how we react to it, I don't know. And like you said, some guys you'll be able to recruit and bring in here. Junior college guys. You may be able to get some D2 guys. You can get some FCS guys. You're not going to get an FBS guy. I agree with what the coach said during the press conference. You're gonna be hard pressed to get FBS guys in here without paying them. So you got to weigh all that, and if they're gonna fit with what you want to do, and they're gonna fit in on your team and fit in at your school, because you don't want to pick up somebody else's headache. You got to be careful about transfers, especially when you're talking about FBS transfers. You don't want to get somebody else's prima donna. You bring him into your place, and he's even worse.
Yeah. And he said that. He said
you gotta. You gotta. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm saying he said that basically, it has to be a good culture fit, and it's not just what you can do on a football field. You got to be a good guy in the locker room, because I think I think if you look at our roster and extrapolated all the players, I think the individual parts are greater than the sum. I think we got players, but somehow it's not all meshing well together. It might be attitudes, or just people not buying in, or work ethic. I don't know, but for this thing to work like Coach Gibbs wants it to work, I'm pretty sure he has the specific vision on what it looks like, and now he just needs the resources, I guess, to bring that vision to fruition. And I think the school's going to support him. I think how the NIL works. This is me talking. I haven't talked to Earl or anybody else about this, or Willie Dees, but I think how it works is they already going to have a budget set aside for paying players, and basically the money that we donate is going to be used to, I guess, supplement that budget, or kind of replace that budget. But the school's going to pay these guys money. We don't, I don't want to say we shouldn't donate, but I'm saying that it's not like they waiting for every $5 we send to give. Like, if you just give us one more week, we're gonna have enough money to pay for this transfer from. No, I think they already got a pot that they're working with right now, and we can add to that pot, obviously. But I'm saying that to say he'll have already the resources he needs for whatever they decided was a good number to have under your coffers. So it's all about finding the talent and bringing them here. But I got bad news for you, Craig. Because of the way that we lost and how distraught I was, I don't feel like singing tonight. So I can't sing your favorite song, These Three Plays, but I do want to show These Three Plays. So we'll do that next week. I know you're sad. I heard you and Mitzi had recorded one of my intros, and y'all play it on date night sometimes. It's like kind of like this background romantic music, and I appreciate that. That makes me feel good to make you guys happy. But let me show you these three plays from the Towson game without the music. Sorry, guys. All right, so let's play one from Towson. Okay, when was the last time? This is first. So this is after we moved down the field on our opening drive and kick a 56-yard field goal, school record. Towson, they take the field and they don't take a long time to respond. And once again, I remind you, they have a freshman quarterback whose nerves were rattled because he had got benched at halftime. They couldn't wait till the fourth quarter. They said, "Now you got to go now. This ain't working." And he was skipping balls across the turf like he's like somebody throwing rocks across the lake. He was terrible against Stony Brook the week before. 7 days earlier, he was terrible. They took him out the game. They couldn't go no further than 2 quarters with him. So they gave him another chance. And what we did was just do everything possible to make this guy feel like he was at damn a spa. Right? Let me show you our defense with this.
Set those records last week in the win versus Campbell for A&T, but Aaron Harris not only excellent cornerback.
So we got 4 down linemen, and I want y'all to look at all 4 guys, and you tell me how this pass rush looks to you guys.
Really good return man as well.
We're going to get our first look at Andrew Indorf, the freshman out of Miami, Florida. And he'll throw it down the sideline and completes the bomb to Dunmore. We spoke about it in the open. Indoor, the freshman out of Miami, Florida.
Okay.
And he'll throw it.
Like,
look at Andrew in.
Look, I'm sorry. Okay, I can't get past that. This is the first play of the game. This may be the first or second play of the game.
It's their first possession. First possession, first play.
First play. So first play.
Yeah, we scored first. We had the opening kickoff.
Right.
Yeah.
But look,
their first play from scrimmage.
Look at the explosion from our front four. And just look at our defensive tackles on how aggressive they are of getting past the blocker into the quarterback. You know, this is not good film to put out, guys.
Dorf, the freshman out of Miami, Florida. And he'll throw it down the sideline and completes the bomb to Dunmore.
So if I'm a freshman who got benched 7 days, I can't. The football guys cannot deliver a better miracle than what A&T is giving me. A clean pocket, and they got the best quarterback, the corner on the team, falling for, I guess, a double move or something. And my best receiver is down the field he got a 3-yard lead on. I mean, that's what you draw up. Okay.
We spoke about it in the open. Indorf to Dunmore could be a problem.
And Harris fooled on that play, bit on the out, and Dunmore out and up. And you just see the long strides of Dunmore, 6'2", with that speed, beats Aaron Harris over the top for a huge.
So that was play number one. And that showed me this is about to be a long day unless we rev up a little bit on the intensity level and do something. So now they drive down the field. They haven't scored yet, and they're in the red zone. But we actually do kind of get a little bit more intense on our defensive line, and we get home. But tell me if this is good tackling or not, Craig.
Huge chunk play. That was one of
Has previously played at Mercer and at Duke. Brings up 1st and goal. Indorf dropping back, has plenty of time now under pressure. Breaks free the first one, loses the second tackler, still running, throws and completes it to Wooten, who reaches for the pylon and is in.
What a play.
Breaks free the first one, loses the second tackle.
I want to show you something real quick. And this is what I hate to pick on people, but I got to show this as a coaching point. Where's our focus at? Because on this play, in the middle of the play, we got Cameron Dalrymple trash talking offensive line or whatever as the quarterback goes right by him. Like he took the focus off of making the tackle or helping to get an assisted tackle. He just has to get the last word in on somebody who he was blocking. And by turning his head, he lets the quarterback get free down sideline and get open for that pass. This is not good football, guys.
He played at Mercer and at Duke.
Look at 23 right here.
Brings up 1st and goal. Indorf dropping back, has plenty of time now under pressure. Breaks free the first one.
So right now, look at 23. He's talking to the guy he was threw on the ground, and the quarterback is just right there. Like, okay, you can argue with him. I'm going to the end zone.
Loses the second tackler, still running, throws and completes it to Wooten, who reaches for the pylon and is in.
What a play. Andrew Indorf.
Indorf's pass is complete to number 4.
Breaking multiple tackles first. Tim Alderson. He had another Aggie getting a shot at him as well. Breaks out of multiple tackles. Sadiq Cannabis Ali, but we have
there's a flag
penalty
down on the far sideline.
Towson does their job defensively, going to get the.
All right, so now we get the ball back and we don't do anything with it. Think the bad pass, and now we got a punt. And you talked about this, Craig. This was the backbreaker. This is play
ball
3.
Back over to their offense.
Of these 3 plays, this is the third one, and this is this hurt.
That is
Dunmore.
And I don't know about you, but if you look
This
right there
actually
on
broke the game open.
Yeah, if you look at that CAA logo, look at the CAA logo right on the 25-yard line. it looks like we got one guy who has to block two guys, and then the guy inside of him that's Cameron Dalrymple again, number 23. And I think the coaching staff wants him to help out the dude who's on the CAA logo. So he has to come across and chip the guy. It's a weird alignment, and Cameron Dalrymple's kind of like in no man land, because if he goes out too soon, then that linebacker in front of him can just go by. I'm not sure what the responsibilities are, but this thing looks bad from the beginning. I'm like, man, are you sure we got enough guys out here? Did somebody not get the signal to come on special teams? It looks bad, and it got worse, man. So let's check this out.
A big-time weapon back there to receive the punt. And A&T moved on the offensive line. That'll back the Aggies up another 5
yards. This is bad editing by me. All right, so forget that. Where we at? Here it is. It's a real one. There he goes.
Mishandled it. It's blocked, and the ball is loose. It is taken into the end zone, and a touchdown is scored by Towson as Xavier Crum.
Yeah.
Say again?
Yeah, he didn't chip him. He came right off the edge. He did not touch him. And the guy ran right. The guy had a straight shot to the punter. That's not the punter's fault. I think somebody had mentioned in the chat that 3-step punter. No, that was just piss poor blocking.
He's able to come up with it in the promised land.
The third phase of the football game, special teams.
Okay, so Dalrymple
outside.
Yeah, he's right there, and then he has to go out there and I guess chip.
Towson
right there. He has to reach him, which is kind of hard, man. Like I guess
too far inside.
Yeah, and I think because there's a linebacker that's kind of on top of him, he can't just let that guy go. But he has to reach this guy coming in, and that ain't good enough. So
bobbled a bit on the pump, but nothing egregious.
Yeah.
But I don't think the punt would have got off if it wasn't bobbled. Just a jailbreak.
Yeah.
Punt, block, and touchdown for Towson. So Tigers off to a hot start here in Greensboro.
Touchdown credited to number 43.
And this is not how A&T envisioned the beginning of this ball game.
I need to fire my
Towson come on the road ready to play.
14-3, 3:44 to go in the first after the extra point. And the Tigers have been amped up since they got off the bus here in Greensboro.
Right there.
Well,
so I guess he's saying, son, you're supposed to go reach the guy. I don't know. And I think Darryl was saying, but coach, I can't make that play. It's too far. So somebody was in wrong. Maybe it's the player, maybe the coach. But we got to figure this out. Because like you said, Craig, it's been happening almost every week, and it can't happen no more. They got to come to some, understanding on whose responsibility or what's physically possible. But this ain't it. So that was these three plays. After that, there's a wrap. We were down 42-3 at halftime.
Yeah.
That was a rough one. Yeah, but it went all bad.
Matter of fact, that's a rough one.
Yeah. Say again. Yeah, but
that was a rough one. I had seen us get punched around like that. Even against Central, I don't think we got punched around quite that bad. But anyway, it is what it is. It's over and done with. I'm not going to dwell on it. We'll move on to the next one. We seem to play a little bit better in the second half, but it was a bad day from beginning to end.
Yeah. So I think KJ White finished like 90 yards total, and he had 2 interceptions, both of the first half. Both of those led to scores, and he just didn't look comfortable. It looked like he lost his confidence kind of midway through the third quarter, had his head down. So they took him out and they put in Noah Sanders. Noah Sanders kind of had spotty effort. He missed some throws. His mechanics kind of failed him a little bit on some throws. And then they put the true freshman back in, Nelson Layne from New Jersey. Let me show you this clip and kind of give you a compare and contrast. So,
Legs as well.
So this is KJ White early in the first half, and this was him getting free and showing some of his trademark scrambling ability.
And there he goes. You said it. He can get going, and when he commits to it, he is a very good runner.
So that's KJ White running, one of his highlights for the first half. But if you remember him 2 years ago, he still ain't that level of dynamic athlete. And I keep harping back to that because I think that's kind of what all A&T fans expect from his game, is that at any point he can take one to the house. If you bring a blitz that doesn't get home, then he's almost like a Kyler Murray was when he first got in the league. I don't know if he's that guy anymore, and he might get it back, he might not, but I don't know if we should, if it's fair to expect that from KJ White at this point. He broke his leg in the spring. He's still probably not 100%.
He's probably not 1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah. But so that was KJ White, and I'm gonna show you.
You have your team.
So now we put in Nelson Layne, and first, he's not just all athlete. He can't throw the ball. Nice little 3-step drop. He got settled, and he throws it's not a hard throw, but he throws a nice strike here.
Back and after a game like today, it's not going to be a whole bunch of people on campus patting your back.
That's an easy throw, but here's the news, guys. 80% of all your throws as a quarterback are not that hard. You're throwing the ball, a 5-yard slant route, somebody takes it 30 yards. You're throwing the go route, and that's just a straight ball down the field on the seam. You're throwing, 10-yard curl maybe. So you're not throwing the ball 35-yard dig routes over a linebacker every throw. The key is, can you throw on time, and can you make the right decision to throw to the right receiver when he's open? Right coming out his break, right when he drops his hips and change direction, can the ball be coming out your hand? A lot of times with KJ White, he's just not anticipating his receivers being open. He's holding the ball a tick too long. That pressure comes, then the play is dead. He's scrambling, and when he loses his platform, he throws off balance. The ball might sail this, that, and the third, and he's just not effective. But here's Nelson Layne. So Nelson Layne gets in the game late in
last week.
Layne finds Aaron.
I might be the future here.
Pressure coming from Towson. Layne tucks it, runs it, and he has some grass in front of him. He's down the sideline to the 20, 10, and in for 6.
Nelson Layne showing off the wheels.
And that's basically what we had with KJ White 2 years ago. So I wanted to show you, compare and contrast on where we are now and what we had before. Nelson Layne, all he's done, he had 2 opportunities this year. First half against Hampton, the fourth quarter against Towson on Saturday, and he's made the most of it. He's looked pretty good in limited time. And I think coaching staff are going to have to figure out how much do we try to play him. They're not going to blow his red shirt, I doubt. There's 3 more games left. He's played in 2, so that he can only play in 2 more games to keep that freshman red shirt. But they might strategically insert him into 2 more games just to get more film and get more understanding on his skill set. Well, let me show you this replay.
And that's something that Kevin White had in this game as well. Layne showing off the speed, season opening, and he's gone.
See this run?
See here, good blocking up front initially. Man-to-man coverage in the secondary, and that almost tackle shoestring there. Layne able to get out of it.
And that's something that scares the bejesus out of defenses. If you ever played or coached AAU basketball, you go to a tournament, Craig. Most times, the first thing a team's going to do especially like youth basketball, they're going to do a full court press, and they're going to press you the whole game until you stop, until you show that you can get past their trap, their press.
You can handle press.
And then once you break that press like 2 or 3 times and get some easy layups, and they back off and they play regular defense. So a team is going to pressure you, but if you do that to them, I guarantee you that defense is going to slow down. They're going to start worrying about their lanes, and you're going to have a natural pocket just because they're afraid that look here, if we over pursue this guy and we lose containment, they ain't going to just be a first down. It's going to be a house call. You know, that is a weapon
right.
that Nelson Layne has put on film that people are going to have to worry about now.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's
go ahead, Craig.
I think he's I like him. I liked him when I saw him in the Howard game before he got the ankle injury right before halftime. He was showing the same skill set then. I think the kid will probably get a lot more reps in the over 2 out of these last 3 games. You know, unless somebody gets hurt. But I think he's going to get. I think probably in the last couple of games, I would expect that you'll see a lot of him probably against Monmouth and definitely Layne. I don't expect to see him play a lot this week on the road.
Oh, really?
It's asking a little, yeah. I don't expect to see him on the road, but I think the last 2 you have more friendly crowds. I think he'll get his time. He'll get time in under center because you really need, given where our situation was this past year with quarterbacks going down. Yeah. Every bit of game experience you can get to the number 2, 3, 4, or 5 guy, you better get it in if you get a chance to play him. You better play him if you can get him in. So
yeah. And like with quarterbacks, managing that is such a weird deal because you got to worry about the psyche, right? We don't know where Kevin White is mentally because he looked defeated on the sideline after that third quarter, and it's like you trust me. Unfortunately, the dad whose son plays football, I've seen that look before. It's like, good Lord, can we hit the reset button to try to get tomorrow? And like, nah, we still got a game to play. So you feel for him because you know they worked so hard all week, and he probably felt pretty good coming off the Campbell game. Like now we got some momentum. We can beat Towson. They're not that good. And for that to happen, it sets everything back. KJ White at one point a couple weeks ago, we were looking like we found our franchise quarterback, right? All we got to do is keep this dude healthy, and we go into 2026 with one of the most dynamic guys in CAA. Now I guess there's a question mark, right? And then you look. I asked Coach Gibbs in the press conference about the other guys who got hurt, and Champ Long, Braxton Thomas. Jai Walls is out for the year with the broken collarbone, but those guys with the dislocated elbow, he says it's not realistic to see them coming back because they're not even practicing at this point. So, Austin Hooker, he has ACL, he was out. So the quarterback room has shrunk down to 3 guys. It's KJ White, Noah Sanders, and Nelson Layne. And I think we saw some of the limitations of Noah Sanders. He played about 3 possessions, and he really didn't have a lot of success moving the ball. And he had a couple like fumbled snaps. Yeah, I mean, he didn't lose them, but he was just dropping. So he didn't look too like he had seized the reins from KJ White. Nelson Layne, it was small. I mean, he had the run and had 1 pass. I don't know if you say, well, he's definitely going to be the starter the next couple of weeks, but I think you have nothing to lose by at least putting him in the game plan for at least 2 games.
Give some meaningful minutes.
Yeah,
give some meaningful minutes.
Let's kick the tires. But so that was Towson 6-2-9. We got Stony Brook this upcoming week. They are, what's their record, Craig? You got a schedule in front of you on Stony Brook.
No, I don't have the schedule. But if I remember correctly, they are.
I got
I
right
believe
here.
they're 6-3.
No, they are 4 and 5.
Something like that.
They're 4 and 5 overall. They're 2 and 3
4 and 5.
in,
Okay.
in the CAA. If that's what's been published in the game notes. So if that's wrong, don't blame me. But they
They got the same. They got the same. They got the same conference record that we do.
yeah. So,
Although, that don't mean a whole lot, but
right,
we're 2 and 3 in the conference as well.
right. And then
But Stony Brook, the thing about Stony Brook, they injected a ton of money into their program about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And they went out and bought them a coach, and they went out and bought them a team.
Yep.
They gave a cash infusion of $5 million into their football program in one big lump sum, and they went from 0-10 to 8-4, and been hovering around that ever since for the last couple of years.
So, and that's going to be our blueprint. That's our blueprint, I guess.
Yeah, you're going to have to spend money. Yeah. If you go, I'm sorry, but the days of, I know people saying, well, we got to coach them up, we got to develop players. There's not a lot of time anymore in college football to do a lot of development because of your fan bases want to win right away.
Yeah, the
money accelerates that even more so.
Yeah, ROI
that is being paid out for players.
Yeah,
and so you really got about 3 years for most of these coaches now. You got about 3, maybe if you're lucky, maybe 4 years to get everything in place to make a run. If you haven't done it by the end of year 3 or year 4, you can about believe that those schools will be looking to shop around. So, it's just the nature of the beast. And it's going to take, that's why a lot of coaches, you've seen a lot of older coaches who've been in the game for a while are all getting out of the game. Not only in football, but same thing in basketball. You're seeing guys who've been there for, 15, 20 years, won, 6, 7, 8 championships. They just say, hey, I can't take it no more. I can't function in this environment because it's money now. It's money money makes the players, money makes the teams, and they don't want any part of it. So they're leaving coaching. So it's going to take any coach now that can win consistently in this atmosphere will command top dollar. And And those who make the adjustment will do fine, and those that won't, we'll see someplace else.
Yeah. Well, look, Craig, we talked about football, but we also are getting ready for this basketball season. It's heating up. We had a game last night, and we want to bring in somebody who has a good, close, intimate knowledge of the basketball program. He is the play-by-play god, not just the play-by-play announcer, the play-by-play god. He's earned that title. Let's bring back to the show for I think it's our third time he's been on here. Let's bring in my man Spencer Turkin. What's up, Big Turk?
What's going on, fellas? Great to see you.
What's up, dude?
Great evening so far.
Man, we having fun. We're living the dream. So look, man, before we get into basketball, you had I don't know if this is a pleasure. What we call that? It wasn't. You had the I guess misfortune of having to call that game on Saturday, A&T in Towson, and that thing got ugly fast. What was your takeaway as a observer of that?
It's funny, right? As the football announcer for television, I'm a neutral party technically.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have we don't show favoritism on our television broadcast. That's something that our department actually takes a lot of pride in. That we provide a CAA broadcast
Oh no. This is like an ACC. This is Power 5 level broadcast, especially with Raven Douglas now. I love the addition of her.
Raven's great.
But you guys have such an entertaining, informative show. So don't sell you short. Say this CAA. This is top level.
I guess what I mean by that is, it's for all CAA fans. We really take a lot of pride in that. And for some schools, they'll just do the simulcast radio and television, and it is what it is. And but Brian takes a lot of pride in being able to put on a broadcast that's for everybody. And that's what our television broadcast is. And so, in terms of having the unfortunate seat in the house to call that game, well, you know what? Like, my job is to make it interesting for everybody. And so it really doesn't matter if it's a 62-9 game or if it's a 21-20 game. I've got to make it interesting for everybody. That's my job. I have to come prepared for both. And so I hope that I did to the best of my abilities. And listen, there were a couple of bright spots. Andrew Brown is the man. I mean,
that's crazy.
He's the man. There's really not much else to say there. He's going to get some NFL looks, period. And he deserves them. And the bottom line is, this is a very different competitive landscape than it was a couple of years ago. And if we, as a program, are going to compete, it's going to take everybody doing everything that they possibly can for the blue and gold. And that's really it. It's money, it's time, it's connections, it's resources, it's players, it's selling our amazing institution, it's the alumni connections. Part of having over 15,000 kids on campus means that your alumni association is going to be the largest HBCU alumni association here. That comes along with that territory. If you're pushing through the most kids, you become the largest alumni association. And so that's more connections than anybody to help you later on in life. These are things that we're going to have to really sell as differentiators. Soon it'll be R1 status, that opens up other types of doors. So we're just going to have to continue pushing. In terms, I was listening to you guys talk about the quarterback situation, and I brought up an interesting thing the other day. All right, you put Nelson in, so that burned a game the other day.
Now 2 now. You're down 2.
You're down to 2 games.
Yeah. On
one hand, right, you probably only play him for 2 more games and you do the kid the favor and you don't burn his eligibility year, right?
Right.
On the other hand, in this day and age, it's free agency every year. So how do you know he's coming back to you?
Yeah, sure.
Why do you do him the favor? These are the new
I know. Yeah,
these are the new questions you have to ask yourself, right? Is he coming back, or is he going to another conference school? And is he going here? And is he going there?
Right. That's a great observation too, because there might be some players on the roster who we may not have seen in recent weeks who've made that decision. I'm not saying anything that I heard from
No, this is the reality now.
This
is the reality now, and these are things that have to get balanced. And these are decisions. These are business decisions that are being made. Some of these young men are being paid, and these are business decisions. And I don't know Nelson's status in terms of NIL and scholarships and what other commitments we have as a university have made. I'm not privy to those things. I don't want to comment on those.
Right.
But I'll say this: like, if you're someone that is on the quote unquote payroll, then when the boss, Coach Gibbs, tells you to get in, you get in. That's your job. You go play football. So it's a really interesting line that you have to dance now if you're Gibbs, right? Because if you burn the kid's eligibility and he doesn't want to, or you don't want to, then it kind of puts other things out there. It's not a good situation in terms of stuff.
Let me ask you this: how much power do the players have now versus even 5 years ago? Like, is it, I hate to say the inmates run the asylum, but like, has the power structure gone all the way to the locker room now?
I mean, all the way, I'm not sure, right? Like there was that effort to officially organize labor
unions.
That failed, right?
Yeah.
That failed.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't say all the way, but I think things have balanced out a little bit more. That's for certain. I mean, players are getting paid. Players are being paid directly by the institution. It's changed. There's more power.
Yeah.
Listen, a lot of questions, not a lot of answers these days. That's where we're at, and it's everywhere. It's not just an A&T thing. That is an everywhere thing. These are questions that each coach, each position coach, each family, each player have to ask. And you know what? On one hand, right, if you're trying to eventually get a master's degree and you're trying to better yourself and this and that, all right, I can understand that. But if on the other hand, if you're a ball player, you're a ball player. You have a chance to start a game. You want to go start a game.
Yeah. So that's a great point. And I think we're going to talk about basketball. I think basketball is even like Craig said, has even gotten a head start on the pay for play, because that was a reality for A&T. I think last year. I think there was a number of guys on the roster who were getting money last year through the NIL collective.
Correct.
I know you might not know the entire purse strings and everything, but what would you say the percentage of players on the A&T men's roster this season are getting some type of money?
Honestly, I wouldn't be able to comment on that. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I do know is that some players are indeed receiving payments.
Okay.
And that's college basketball. I mean, I'm not really one to mention our friends down the road in Durham, but Lavelle Moten the other day, after the shellacking that they took at NC State, said this is a $12 million team to a nothing team. And
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I was about to say I don't believe it. I'm sure there's something being paid out.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what. All right, like I don't know what. These things are not part of public records.
Right.
They're not allowed to be. So
let's go back. So the NIL, revenue sharing, that's not Freedom of Information Act. You can't request that.
There were certain things passed. It's complicated.
Wow. Okay.
So, and because they're technically not employees, and they're students, and it's very complicated.
So what I wonder if when you look at the audit and look at the books, what is that line item described as?
Couldn't even tell you. But what I would say is I don't believe for a second that there's no payments coming out of Durham to their team. I don't know how much is going on with our squad. But what I will say is this is the norm. This is the norm. And in our conference, there are teams pushing over $1 million in NIL rosters in the CAA.
In basketball, men's basketball. Wow.
There is a lot of money flying around right now. And, the schools that don't play football have a lot of resources to pour into men's basketball.
Yeah.
That is a thing. At the same time, those first 10 minutes of the game, 12 minutes of the game yesterday
against South Carolina.
South Carolina wasn't very happy. I could tell you that. They looked like they got punched in the face, and our guys looked like they were ready to go. Eventually, a couple fouls here, a couple misses there. they're still an SEC roster. They've got a few million going on over there.
Yeah.
They wear you down. They created that separation. Second half, though, we only got outscored by 1 point.
1 point. I saw that.
And so Lorian Walker, I thought, had an amazing debut yesterday. Lewis Walker did as well. Those two guys have the potential to be big-time scorers for us. Also, keep in mind, Will Felton played, 30 seconds yesterday? I mean,
yeah,
he's, in my eyes, he's a potential conference player of the year. He is that much of a difference maker.
Okay, so my question is, and that's, of course, the H word, the health. Is he finally, is he healthy this year? Are we going to see the full version of Felton?
He's healthy and available. He is healthy and available.
Okay.
And he, I told him before the game yesterday, and I said this on the air, players, when you're the radio announcer, right? So now switch gears. I'm the radio announcer now. I have my blue and gold on. I have my shirt on. I'm not neutral on road basketball now. That is not a neutral thing. I am bleeding blue and gold.
Yeah.
I said on the air yesterday that players are like your kids. You're not supposed to have favorites. I broke that rule yesterday. Will Felton is my favorite.
Yeah.
He's
been through so much,
so hard, and has come back from so much, and has been through so much. And I told him before the game, I just said, I just want you to know how proud of you I am, and that I'm wishing you the best season. And stay healthy, do your thing, and show everybody why you work so hard to come back. And he deserves this, and so I'm really hoping for him that he gets the season that he wants and deserves. I think it's going to be a process getting him back. I think it's going to be one of those things where we have a goal, and that ultimate goal at the end of the year is more important than a couple of wins here and there.
So the home opener is actually next Monday, November the 10th, against South Carolina State. We got another
Alexander Classic.
Oh wow, okay, that's it.
Unofficial.
Yeah, but you know what? And that's great because it gives another opportunity to play against a traditional HBCU rival, and the students will still be on campus, so that should be a raucous atmosphere in the Corbett. And so just give us, for anybody who's late to the game, who's been consumed only by football thus far, give us a quick overview of the 2025-2026 men's basketball roster. And
we're huge.
We're huge. Okay.
We're huge. We are massive. We have 6'5" guards. We have 3 kids down low. I say kids. The 3 young men. I'm getting old is what's going on. They're young men, and I should refer to them as. We've got 3 young men down low that are 6'11" and are freaks. I mean, Amadou Doumbia yesterday, the UMass transfer, he looked like a gazelle flying up the floor. He had a couple of blocks that were tremendous, just unbelievable hustle plays, didn't give up on anything. KJ DeBrick is going to be a guy that's going to be a bully down low. He's one of those guys that'll throw you up against the basket base and will take your lunch money from you. is just off the court. He's a giant teddy bear. On the court, he is nobody I want to be near. Like, he is an animal. And so you're talking about 3 dudes who are going to be a problem for some folks. And then you still have Stratos Kaliansis that you could trot out there if you want. And he's 6'11". So we're really big. Dwayne Pierce is a guy that I think is going to shake off these first couple game jitters, get his legs under him. He's an Iowa State transfer. Being able to switch through with him and Trent Middleton for a couple of bigger point guards is going to be nice. Then you could throw Brooklyn Vick in there, the freshman. He's speedy and can fly up the floor. He's got to make sure he keeps his body in line with his head instead of letting his head go ahead of him and his body's lagging behind him because he's thinking so much about what's going on. But he's a freshman, right? These are the things. Right. Laurie Walker, who I mentioned, D2 transfer from Mount Olive.
I saw that he had a pretty good game against South Carolina.
Yeah, great game against South Carolina. He went 9 for 16 and scored 22 points in his Division I debut with 2 assists and 0 turnovers.
Well, I love that. I love that.
That's the part, right? This is a guy who, from what I've been told, out of high school was tiny, really tiny, and he ended up playing smaller college ball. Grew and had a great season last year. And so now he caught the attention of some Division I programs. We were able to land him. He's a scorer. I mean, he is filthy. Some of the shots he took yesterday were wild. I've seen some things in practice, and I'm like, whoa, like this kid can't miss. And so he's going to be a really good player for us. I think Zamaku Waluche-Ume is a guy that defensively could be a difference maker for us. Lewis Walker is another one of those UMass transfers. Winston-Salem native, went 6 for 6 from the line yesterday, 5 of 9 from the field. We've got a shot. The other news that I broke yesterday on the broadcast, Jalal Mackay is going to redshirt this year. Just best for him, best for his family, and he's still going to travel around. He's still going to practice. He's going to be a positive mentor and leader in the locker room. He's a great young man.
What's his eligibility?
So he would have been a junior this year. So he'll technically be a redshirt sophomore now this year, and then moving forward, he'll have two years unless they change it.
And that's not medical related. That's
no. He's healthy. He's fine. Just wasn't going to get the minutes that I think he wanted. He tried out of camp. He practiced really hard. I think, and he's gotten better as a player. Like let's just be very clear. He's gotten a lot better as a player. I think it's a testament to the amount of talent that Monte Ross and the staff has brought in. That the opportunities were just not going to be what he would hope and want. And I think there's some writing on the wall, and it's one of those things where when you give your all for the program and when you do the right things and then you have discussions like that, they're not nasty, they're not tense, they're good man-to-man discussions, and that's when you pat a kid on the back and you wish him the best, and you tell him, listen, I'm here for you, and whatever you need, you let me know and we'll take care of it. And that's the difference.
One thing from my limited interactions with Coach Ross is that he's a great communicator and he seems super transparent and on the level. Like he doesn't seem like a BS artist.
No, he is. Let me just. He is a true professional. Okay, coach, and I'm not saying anything slighting any of the other coaches I've worked with. I've worked with great coaches over the years. Coach has treated me and what I do with the utmost respect and as a true valuable portion of our program. He's made himself available after every single basketball game for post-game interview on the air. He does his pregame interview. He gives me about a half hour before every game to just chat, make sure I'm up to speed with what I need to know. He gives me more life lessons than he does basketball lessons in the locker room. I mean, he's got 2 grown kids, and he's been around a long time. He's a very wise man, and there's a lot that I can learn from him. And so it's been wonderful, and I wish him all the best this year. Right? Like
it's a big year for him. It's a big year for him. Yeah.
I want wins for him. He works hard. He deserves it. His staff works hard. They deserve it. They've brought in a talented bunch this year. I think that they, preseason rankings now in basketball. I'm going to go on my soapbox for a minute, guys. Preseason rankings are the dumbest thing in the world at this point.
Right.
They're pretty bad in football, but they're just stupid at basketball at this point. Yeah. Every team has 10 to 15 new kids. How do you know what's going to happen?
You don't. You're just throwing a dart at a board and hoping.
So you look at last year and you keep somebody based on last year's roster within 2 or 3 spots of where they finished. What is that going to do? Right. I wouldn't put any rankings out or any preseason predictions out until halfway through non-conference at the very least. I mean, there are going to be teams that need all of non-conference to figure this thing out. We have 8 transfers and 2 freshmen. We have 10 new young men on this roster. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a lot. And so we got South Carolina State at home on Monday. Then we go on a lengthy road trip. We end up playing Central at Central in Durham on a Saturday afternoon, December 6th, and we pretty cool. We actually have Howard at Cameron Indoor Stadium on the campus of Duke.
Yes.
On a Tuesday night, December 9th. Tell me about that game. Who organized that, and what's the significance of playing Howard at Cameron Indoor Stadium?
Yeah, so let me back up a little bit. We've got 2 home games next week, actually.
2, okay.
Washington Adventist is coming in, and then that's on Thursday the 13th.
Right, okay, I missed that. Right, okay.
And then, here's something that then we're going to play another HBCU in Morgan State on the road.
Yep.
Before Thanksgiving. Then we get a Thanksgiving break. And then, Coach has done a wonderful job of not making us zigzag all over the country in the non-conference. We are playing Davidson on Black Friday, UNC Charlotte the following Tuesday.
Yeah.
Go to Durham to take on the you-know-whats and the you-know-whos. And then we go back to Durham to take on Howard. So, to not have to put miles on this team is huge. That is huge and tremendous scheduling on our staff. So it's something that they should be commended for. I will tell you this personally. I know my wife is thrilled that I am not on 2.5-week road trips for basketball these days anymore.
Yeah.
So, especially with the 2 little ones. So, after that, we don't leave Greensboro. We do not leave the state of North Carolina after Thanksgiving until after the New Year. We play every game in the state of North Carolina, the entire.
Can't beat that.
At our level.
That's
so, now let me back into the Howard thing because it's pretty cool. Kevin Blakeney obviously is the head coach at Howard. He played at Duke.
Oh, okay.
Howard is playing in a MTE at Duke in November, part of this Duke group that they're doing. Then we wanted to have a home and home with Howard. Somehow it landed on being a neutral site and a neutral site. And so game 1 this year is actually Howard's home game. And Kevin Blakeney wanted to do the game in Durham. And so we said, cool, you're not going to make us fly or drive up to DC, then
yeah, we'll take it.
Cool, we're good.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great event. Tickets hopefully will be on sale sooner than later.
Yeah.
I expect it to be some sort of just flat fee package, affordable. No one's trying to make millions of dollars on this game.
Well, Spence, you got to think there's a lot of basketball fans in North Carolina who've never been to Cameron Indoor Stadium for a game. So this is a good opportunity to see your favorite team, A&T, playing in one of the most iconic venues in,
playing in one of the most iconic venues in basketball, not having to pay what I call the tax and lose by 60.
Okay. Right.
And you get to see them play against Howard. So you've got the 2 premier HBCU brands going at it.
That's good.
In this historic venue where there's so much history intertwined between the 2 schools. I mean, everybody, I feel like everybody forgets or just doesn't get mentioned. Like A.B. Williamson, Howard's legendary coach, was an A&T grad, played baseball at A&T. So, there's just a lot of history between the programs. And Cy Alexander was an associate head coach under AB at Howard. That was where he kind of got his start. there's just a lot of ties between these programs. It'll be a wonderful event. And then, we'll see what we decide to do with our home site game next year. To be continued.
That's perfect. Hey, so Craig, real quick. So, what are you most excited about this men's basketball team? Because I know you were talking to me about the height they have. So, what's some things you're excited about?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. The height and the depth of this team. This team's a lot deeper than it was a year ago or the last 2 years, and way bigger. These guys are monsters. It's going to be real interesting because when you look at the CAA, you look at teams like Charleston, real big team, Towson, big team, Wilmington, big team. Now, I thought we played them tough in most situations last year, but we always seemed to kind of run out of gas, and their size kind of wore us down as the game went on. And but I think this year, with the additions that Coach Ross has brought in, and with the fluid nature of rosters, I'm kind of like Spencer. I think we got a shot. I really do. I think we got a legitimate shot to be in that top 4 or 5 in this conference. Time will tell, but it won't be because of lack of talent. That's for sure.
No, we have talent this year. We look like a true Division I men's basketball team this year.
Hey, so Spence, how? Let me ask you this: how? Because we were 7-25 last year, kind of faltered down the stretch, was one and done in the tournament. How does Coach Ross just assemble his staff and say we might have to replace, 75% of the roster, but we're going to get bigger, stronger, more athletic, pretty much across the board? How does that happen in one off-season?
Couple different ways. One, the staff and Coach Ross are extremely well-connected individuals who have made, tremendous inroads across the country. Coach Ross has mentored and coached some of, the top talent in the country ever. I mean, when he was at St. Joe's, those teams were nearly unbeatable. He took a team to the NCAA tournament at Delaware. He's coached at Temple. He's Dawn Staley is in his corner, right? Like Dawn Staley helped him get this job. He knows people, and he's got a staff that's very well connected. I mean, Ricky Moore was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He was a damn good basketball player when he was at UConn. Our younger staff members, Dorian Long, Colin Daly, these are guys who they pound the pavement and they go find guys that are under recruited, or sometimes guys who are being heavily recruited, and they just work harder and they work smarter, and they should all be commended. Part of it also is more investment in the program.
Yeah.
And money talks. The CAA talks, more importantly. We're in a basketball league, guys. This is a basketball league. The CAA is a basketball conference. I'll say it again. It is a basketball conference. And so you have a chance to play in a basketball conference. This is an opportunity to show yourself off against some of the top mid-major competition in the country. And if you're a ball player, you want to play in this conference. The teams are taken care of well here. Things are players expect to be handled properly when it comes to resources and their money and their facilities. And, we're getting there, and we've made some improvements.
And we have.
Underneath in Corbett now, there's a players' lounge.
Yes.
There are things slowly but surely. We are starting to get to where we want to go. Listen, we have a lot to do. I don't want to make it sound like we are, that we have the KFC Yum Center on our campus right now. And, what that's not what I'm saying. But we are trying to make smart investments in our young men and our young women, because that's a shared facility. And we are trying to also balance making sure that we can compete in the NIL landscape with direct payments as well. And there's a balance, right? The whole team versus a couple. And so these are things that college basketball in 2025, you got to just figure it out. But Coach Ross has done a really good job of embracing the situation and making the most of it. And, if you're a high major young man who hasn't played a lot, let's take a Dwayne Pierce and a Amadou Doumbia and a Lewis Walker, for example. These are, UMass under Frank Martin, and then Iowa State is, an unbelievable program, right? And you have a chance to potentially start or play significant minutes at A&T in the CAA. Who's to say that you can't go back up to Power 5 or whatever next year? You can.
That's my point. And that, to me, if I'm a head coach, that's kind of part of my sales pitch. I'm like, look here, I don't mind being a layover for your next big payday, but you need film. You need opportunities to showcase it.
All part of it, Samaj. You're 100% correct. And you can do a couple things, right? You can complain about it. You can fight it. You can try and sabotage, or you can embrace it and not get your feelings hurt when someone is here for a 1-year rental, because that's what it is for some of these guys. The difference in the NBA is you sign a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6-year max contract, right? Like sometimes you're tied down for a few years. College basketball, it's a 1-year deal every year. And, the school has the option too. Or scholarships, you find ways to get rid of guys, right? Like there's ways that people just magically disappear, and they just do. And it's a two-way street. And so coaches can leave, players can leave, everybody. Broadcasters don't leave. I stay. I'm in year 13. But it's just different. And you can either adapt, embrace, and succeed, or you can fight the man and probably not be in a good spot at the end of the year. So this staff has embraced the challenge. They are willing participants. And for the fact that they're just great people, for the fact that we have a lot of talent, for the fact that I want us to have success that we deserve, I hope this all works out. I really do.
Hey, so Turk, you are famous for coining the name the Dunkyard Dogs.
Yeah.
Back when we had Coach Jones here. Do you think there's going to be a signature identity for this year's team? Maybe not a nickname right now, but is this going to be there's going to be a certain style that guys we can look forward to every time we go to club court?
Man, listen, right now I would just say we're the big dogs. I mean, we're freaking huge.
Yeah.
We're huge.
Okay.
I cannot tell you the last time I've seen a 6'5" point guard at North Carolina A&T. That's not a thing that we've had. We don't have Evan Turner walking through our doors, right? Like that's not. Ron Jackson was 6'7". Ron Jackson was not a point guard when he was here. Okay, Ron Jackson, is the man. As far as I'm concerned, he's the best player that's walked through here in 15 years at least. He talent-wise, he was a game changer. He went to Central in that regular season championship game and stepped on Blunt's chest and dunked on him.
I remember that. Oh, man. Was that the COVID year? Was that COVID
year? Yes.
That's when we got kicked out the tournament.
No, that was the year. This was 2020. This was the year that everybody got shut down.
Right. Yeah. So we got shut down 2 weeks later.
That dunk was something I'll never forget. He literally stepped on his chest.
I was there. I was at in Odugal, whatever the stadium.
And I'm telling you, the fact that we lost that game is why he didn't get Conference Player of the Year that year. That's why Blunt got it.
Yeah.
because they won the championship that year. And it was because we lost that game. But we, we've got a chance. We've got guys that are that good now, and they've got to show it. It's not one-offs now, right? Like, we had Cam Woods. He was a great individual player. He has gone on. He made it to a Final Four at NC State. He had success at Robert Morris. Somehow he still has another year of eligibility.
Cam Woods is still playing college basketball?
He's not playing this year, but he has another year of eligibility.
What?
And
Are you serious?
Nikos Hidikudis, the guy that I really like. He went out yesterday at Iowa and had 14 and 9. I mean, he almost had a double-double last night.
Wow.
We've had a lot of talent that's walked through the building. This is the best group of collective talent that we have had in a very long time. And they're going to have to figure out how to play with each other. The thing that I like is that they're not selfish basketball players. These are guys who share the basketball willingly. And so I think karma will reward them. They will have a chance to win some games because they're unselfish. As long as they remain on that path, we're going to be in a good spot.
Good deal. All right, Craig. Before we let Spencer, I know Spencer has his family hours. He got 2 little babies and a beautiful wife. So, any last questions for Turk while we got him here?
No, I'm just looking forward to next Monday night, so we get a close-up look and at this basketball team because I'm excited about it. I think we got. I'm like Spencer. I think we've got a legitimate shot to really make some noise in the CAA this year. I just like our lineup. I just like the way this team is made up as far as the personnel is concerned. So we got to get through these preseason games and just develop and get better each week. And come January when everything kicks off, we should be rolling pretty good. Getting off to a good start this year, I think is going to be imperative. But we, because we've traditionally have started out slow, and but I think this year, the way the schedule's set up, we're gonna make some noise early on in this preseason.
There are games in this non-conference schedule that we should be able to get. We have to get them. We got to take care of business. Period. And you know what? Good teams take care of business. Good teams win the games that they're supposed to win.
Yeah.
That's what good teams do.
That's it. Hey, Turk, you're a big hockey fan, right?
I am.
Hey, so when are we gonna get together and watch these Greensboro Gargoyles, man? The hottest thing in independent hockey league, man. When are we gonna watch?
The ECHL Gargoyles, man. Listen, I actually have not been out to a game yet. I've heard that they're a blast.
Man, I've seen some clips on social media, and these people lose their mind. It's like
Greensboro has been so hungry for hockey for years.
And guess what, Turk? I was at the very first Carolina Hurricanes game when they moved from Hartford down here. They played the first 2 years at the Coliseum, and I was at the opening night. I was in college back then. The opening night when they played, I think it was the Pittsburgh Penguins, maybe.
That's awesome.
But, yeah. So, man, listen, Greensboro has a great hockey tradition.
No doubt. And, hockey has changed the landscape a little bit for college basketball in this town because UNCG is not the number one tenant in the building anymore.
Ooh.
It's had to move some games back to campus now.
Wow.
So Fleming Gym is going to be a little bit more popular these days for the Spartans. So, they're not going to be at
First Horizon.
At First Horizon as much as they had. Now they'll still beat games at First Horizon. I don't know how they're not playing any, but they're playing conference games at Fleming.
So I know that's gonna be interesting to watch. So look, Turk, we gotta let you go, but we're gonna have to get together this year too. We've been trying to get that Blue Death meet and greet with you about 6-7 years now. So one on the weekend, we know this winter, or maybe on a Saturday game, we'll have to see. We can steal you for a couple hours, maybe go kick back Jackson someplace, and because everybody loves your just insight, and so we might can get a chance to tell a couple stories for an hour or so after the game. We have to put that on the calendar, man.
You know what? We should definitely do it. And how about this, right? Everybody steps up and is trying to do their part and whatnot. Yeah. How about we make it some sort of small donation to men's basketball NIL.
For
this, and we'll do it. How's that? Well, everybody will throw a couple bucks in the hat.
Yeah, and make it worthwhile. Make it worthwhile.
NIL, and I don't want a penny. That's not.
Yeah.
But let's do it that way. How's that sound? You think the Blue Death folks will be okay with that?
Yeah, love. We'll pump that up. I'm gonna start working on a flyer tonight, man. So that's a good deal. Hey, so look, man, we gotta get out of here. AD Fresh, I don't know, he might have playoffs or something going on, but he'll be back probably next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say Doug just ditched me. All right, that's cool. Like,
yeah, you know,
I saw Ralph yesterday in South Carolina, so I saw the Brown that I wanted to see. So
okay, but yeah, you know, Doug, you're his guy, so he'll be mad that he didn't get a chance. But look, until next time, for the mayor, Craig Turner, and of course the play-by-play god, Spencer Turkin. I am Samaj Marsh. This has been a great episode of Inside the Valley. Talk about some football and, of course, that 2025-26 men's basketball team. See you guys hopefully Monday night at Club Corbett. Got the first home game. Until then, Aggie Pride. Peace.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.